Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is WeatherZilla, and today we have two named storms in the Atlantic Basin and possibly two hurricanes as well. But before I do get started with the video, I would ask that you do subscribe and turn on those notification bell icons to never miss one of my videos. We have some great content coming at you here soon, especially when it comes to severe weather season. I will be storm chasing. That's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be posting videos out on that. And also make sure to hit that like button. Let's see if we can get this video up to 10 likes. Alright, so here we have it. Tropical Storm Danielle, as we had it 2 days ago, was at hurricane status, but it will regain that here very shortly. And here we have Tropical Storm Earl impacting the northern Leeward Islands. So first we're going to talk about Tropical Storm Danielle. I'm not going to get too much into detail about it, as nothing's really going to be happening with this other than its max sustained winds are at 70 miles per hour and it's moving west-northwest at 2 miles per hour. They are expecting the system to regain hurricane strength as early as today and possibly into the afternoon hours. And here you can see what the convection is like on Tropical Storm Danielle. Here we have our low pressure system. It looks like some shear possibly wrapping around the inside of the system. Other than that, we have some solid convection all around the system. And you'll see that on the water vapor as well. So we saw it just a couple seconds ago. That convection starting to take shape on Danielle. And then here's what it looks like via satellite from Levi Cohen at Tropical Tidbits. Pretty beautiful system if you look at it. Here on the model intensity guidance, the models are pretty consistent with it having some weakening than the next 12 to 24 hours, but regaining that hurricane strength pretty quickly after that. And then the model guidance shows the system kind of staying in the same place for the next 48 hours and then going out towards sea pretty quickly after the 72-hour mark. Alright, so let's hop right into the key messages and advisory 3 from the National Hurricane Center on Tropical Storm Earl. Tropical Storm Earl is forecasted to pass near or just to the north of the northern Leeward Islands, the Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico over the weekend. Gusty winds, especially in squalls area, possible on those islands over the next 2 days. Heavy rainfall from Earl is expected to lead to limited flash, urban, and small stream flooding impacts over the Leeward Islands, U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico this weekend. Rapid rises on rivers and mudslides in the area are possible in Puerto Rico. So let's look at the cone that the National Hurricane Center has given for Tropical Storm Earl. It is currently at 40-mile-per-hour winds, that's sustained, and then is currently moving west-northwest at 13 miles per hour. So you may be wondering, if you're new to the whole weather thing, what this white cone means and kind of what that just means overall. So basically what that means is the National Hurricane Center isn't 100% confident in what the storm is going to do. So once we kind of get closer to that day where it looks like Wednesday is when they're pretty confident with what the system is going to do, that cone will start to shift more towards the north as we get more information via the models. And here you can see what the system looks like via satellite. Here is the main system and our low is somewhere right in there. It's a pretty storm. And then here you can see what the convection is like, and there's some pretty deep convection and some pretty cold cloud tops right where this main system is, which is pretty nice to see for a healthy storm. And then same story on the water vapors. We just had that convection really starting to fire off. So now the intensity guidance has this system possibly becoming a Category 2 hurricane in the 120 to hour 132 area, but other than that, it's really not expected to gain hurricane strength until about 72 hours to possibly the 96-hour mark. So it gives us some pretty solid time and information on what Earl is going to be doing. And then here is the model guidance. Models are pretty consistent on what the system is going to be doing, unless it will just be missing Bermuda pretty far towards the southeast. Alright, so let's hop into some model guidances. First, we're going to look at the GFS, which is the American model. You can keep track with the forecast hour up towards the top and the date as well. So right now, this is what the current GFS run has, the 12Z. Here is Tropical Storm Danielle. Here's Tropical Storm Earl. And then this system that we were looking at in the past 2 videos coming off the coast of Africa will not form. And here as we move towards forecast hour 48 on Monday, September the 5th, Danielle has 100% gained hurricane status. By now it is at 974, and Earl is starting to trying to get its act put together. And then forecast hour 96, I would say Earl is probably at a low-end category 1 as of now at a 985 millibar low, and Danielle is going off towards the North Pole. And then here's kind of where we start to lose confidence in this thing. So hour 126, the GFS has it at a 957 low. And as you remember from earlier, when we looked at the National Hurricane Center's cone of uncertainty, this is where we started to lose confidence in this. So once we get closer to that date, we'll get more realistic information on that, and we'll keep you guys updated on that as well. And now we're going to switch over towards the European model. So you can keep track of the time and the date again up towards the top. And here is Tropical Storm Danielle with some pretty strong winds we saw earlier, about 70 to 75 miles per hour. And here is Earl down towards the south. So as we jump to forecast hour 48, as the GFS and the Euro are in pretty solid agreement on a Hurricane Danielle by now. And then Earl, again, like I said, is really kind of starting to get its act together with winds at possibly 35 to 40 knots. And then forecast hour 120, like I said, the European and GFS are pretty put together on this, as a low-end category 1 hurricane is definitely possible on Earl by now. And don't worry about this system right here. Nothing's really going to form or come out of that, I don't believe. And then this wave as well, really not going to do much of anything. Alright, so let's switch over to our ensembles courtesy of Weather Nerds. So remember, the low is not meaning of how many storms there are, it's all of the ensembles put together onto a graph, and that's what we could be possibly seeing with what this with what these systems could possibly be doing. So again, Danielle is up to your north, Earl is down towards your south, and as we move to forecast hour 48, you can keep time of that up towards the upper part of your screen. A lot of the models, again, on Danielle are pretty confident that it's not going to be moving much at all. And then here's Earl. The models are pretty consistent with it kind of keeping its current course, as it is now kind of heading towards the northwest. And you can see Danielle is way off to sea. And then the Earl, a lot of the models are suggesting that it's starting to make its turn at about forecast hour 90. And then as we jump way towards the future at forecast hour 132, you can see a couple of 990s, some 970s up towards the northern part, but again, that's where we lose that uncertainty of valid information that could possibly form. And now we're going to look into our shear graph. So here is Earl down here. It's in a pretty favorable conditions. That's why it gained its tropical storm status, and then we have a nice pocket of shear for that storm to form right in there, but there is a little pocket that it could run into, that could hinder its development, as we saw on the graphs as well. Pretty strong shear, kind of right sitting in the middle of those two pockets of favorable conditions. And again, this map also is shared map, agrees with what that just showed, that intense or increasing area of shear in between the favorable and the other side of the favorable, in between where that increasing shear is. And then up towards the north we have some decreasing shear as well, which and then is what we're seeing consistently over the past couple of days. And then as it goes off towards the north, it'll run into some pretty strong shear. So as we take a look at our sea surface temperatures, you can see that the Gulf is on fire. It is definitely in that 30 to 32 degrees Celsius range. And that has warmed up quite a bit over the last couple of days, as we saw just a little pocket in the Gulf just 2 days ago. And then here on the Fahrenheit side of things, you can see mid to upper 80s right off the Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama coast. And that is concerning. If anything were to come into the Gulf, there really wouldn't be much to stop that system from intensifying. That's going to do it for the video, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and hit the like button, and I will see you in the next video.